Darby Allin and Kevin Knight, the highlight of the show, in my opinion. This AEW World Championship match, what a run this Darby Allin is on. A rematch from last year's Continental Classic that Knight had won, and also both men trained by Buddy Wayne, as is noted here. And Knight starts off going after the knee and leg, and Darby comes back with a big missile drop kick into a code red and then a tope suicida, and it looked like Knight just fell right back into the desk here, which the announcers call out. But he continues here, and he does his leaping Rana, but not from inside the ring, instead from the edge of the apron, sending Darby off the turnbuckle right to the floor. And as Darby gets settled onto the desk, Knight hits a springboard clothesline onto the desk, and Knight comes up, and he was limping here, and I mean, all the rest of the match was focused on this limping, so I just assumed he was selling here, but what a great job he did here, because he leaps off the buckle and gets caught in the Scorpion Deathlock, and he fights to the rope. There's a coffin drop, and Knight gets the knees up, and the announcers were just quick to note his bad knee, but he had to sacrifice the knee to stay alive here and not take the coffin drop. And they point to MJF going after his knee in last week's match. So he comes back, puts Darby in the Tree of Woe, and the move that took Darby out last December is hit here, the coast to coast, and just rocks him. Hits the UFO splash, but the knee is hurt, so it's a delayed cover. Darby survives, and then kicks out the knee, puts on a guillotine, and snaps Knight's shoulder on the rope, hits a coffin drop to Knight draped on the top, and one follow-up coffin drop to win in 15 minutes and 33 seconds. Just a spectacular match, and Darby is just on this crazy run of title matches, and he's going to have 2 more in the next week.
Yeah. By the end of next week, we could be talking about just 3 amazing, title defenses from Darby Allin between this Saturday and Wednesday.
Dude, Saturday might be the best one. It has that potential. Yeah.
I thought this was excellent, and the challenge at this point continues to be trying to make every single one of these feel special and unique and memorable in their own ways, and I feel like they achieved that with this one. You had some really spectacular spots from Kevin Knight here with that springboard clothesline that initiated the, match-long story, which I thought led to, really great selling from Kevin Knight all throughout the rest of the match. I thought he continued to show a lot of well-roundedness, in his ability to do the high flying, do the promos, a bit earlier on, and also of course the selling in this match. That coast to coast drop kick was probably among the cleanest connections you will see on a move like that. So he continues to be really exciting. And despite the loss here, I think still maintains, I would argue, probably grew his fan base, through a match like this. So much like him beating MJF last week, I don't think negatively affected MJF. I think Knight losing here doesn't affect his status as TNT champion to me.
Yeah, I don't know if people will put this at the top, but in terms of the most complete performance, I thought this was it for Kevin Knight. I just thought he looked excellent here. I thought this match was awesome. It was easily the high point of the show for me. And then Sting comes out. He congratulates both, and the two do shake hands. And then as Sting disappears, MJF is out, stating how no one wants to see Darby with the title any longer. Give me my rematch. And Darby repeats, you're going to have to put something on the line. So MJF offers his scarf, and he's turned down. He offers the diamond ring, and is turned down. Then he offers Darby $1 million. And Darby explains that his money is no good here. So he asks Darby, what do you want? Darby says, I want something that you're willing to fly 15 hours to Turkey to preserve. You most vain piece of shit. I want your hair. And the whole place chants bald. And he says, next week, contract signing. And if you don't show up, you'll never get a title match again. And MJF is speechless, and he storms off to the back. And so that is, a stipulation that people will care about, but it does feel like for these pay-per-views, we basically have a title versus hair match. A Copeland and Cage will break up forever if we don't win the titles, and it just feels as though we're going very heavy on these stipulations. But maybe that's the feeling that that is what is going to make people buy these shows, which you just can't do these forever. But
I think like those sort of stakes are probably the difference makers for pay-per-views. Not always, but I mean, you're getting great wrestling on every single one of these like TV shows. You're getting pay-per-view quality wrestling. So I do think like you need to make the pay-per-views feel special by adding, weapon stips or big stake stips. And in this case, though, like it doesn't necessarily feel like the Darby Allin sort of like tone of like seriousness, I do think like him attacking MJF because he's a vain piece of shit is like directly targeting something that MJF truly cares a lot more about than most. And I have to say, like, because of the stipulation, I don't really know if there's a clear pick for me here, because I could very clearly see Darby retaining and MJF getting that cut, whether it be for I don't know, like a movie role, or maybe just simply because like this head of hair, as full as it is, looks a little bit ridiculous, So I do wonder if this sort of like maybe I feel the odds are very, very even, at least, about who may win this one.
How long would it take to regrow this amount of hair?
Probably not that long. No, yeah. But it's the embarrassment, isn't it?
Yes, the embarrassment of being bald.
Honestly, it might be an improvement.
Good. Yeah, like some people like Kurt never went back after. Bald suited him really well.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. What do you think about the stipulation?
I think it's one that, I mean, I think a lot of people are going to be expecting an MJF win given the stipulation, but I wouldn't be as hardline about that. I think for reasons like that you could do the head shaving. Like there could be a reason for it, like you just mentioned. Like there could be some role, or it's just good heat to have the head shaved. Like why not?
Sure,
hair grows back.
It does. Although I think for like a stipulation like this, somebody should keep it at least like lowly buzzed for a while. You know what I mean?
Like Johnny TV.
Yeah.
Okada comes out and he wants the next title shot next week. And Okada didn't need to put anything on the line. He just got the match just like that. And Darby's like, it's on, bitch. What was it? No hair, no million. He could have got $1 million out of this guy.
Well, MJF already had his shot, I suppose, or at least they already had the match.
Well, Darby should be like, listen, this is pretty taxing. You guys got to make it worth my while. I don't have to defend this belt. Like, what do you have? What do you have to offer? Just gave it to this guy. So we're going to get Darby and Pac on Saturday for this Fairway to Hell show, and then him and Okada next week in Asheville, North Carolina, and thus we'll continue this Darby run that is quite the run so far. There has not been anything approximating even a very good match. Like they have all been stellar so far.
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously with the pay-per-view match kind of already being set up and teased here, like the finish for all of these matches that are coming up on Saturday and Wednesday here with Okada are like, they're very telegraphed. But it's also the type of thing where, like, I think the typical AEW viewer does not really mind that much because you're in it for the great wrestling. You know Pac is unlikely to beat Darby. You know Okada is unlikely to beat Darby. But you know these matches are probably going to be amazing despite the outcome.
If the Post Wrestling Cafe were to undergo a drug test in the month of May, we would be testing positive because we are overloaded with content. We are going to be reviewing Hulk Hogan, Real American, all 4 episodes this month. Plus, we will go inside the Manosphere with a review of the latest Louis Theroux documentary. We will also have coverage of the Ronda Rousey-Gina Carano fight, also taking place on Netflix. Rewind Away tackles WCW Super Brawl 2, and we cover NXT TakeOver Brooklyn from 2015. All that, plus all of the XL editions on a weekly basis, Collision Course, Daredevil Born Again, and so much more. It can all be yours at postwrestlingcafe.com. $8 gets you in the door.